Everybody, and welcome to Hex Token. Woohoo! Do you love that game? That game of Hex, man. Is that crazy or what? With Hex in it, amazing. All the people celebrating in the car race. Pretty awesome stuff. Hey, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Your host, Suitman, in the house. And of course, Pulsechain, Hex, and Pulse Hex, man. We're looking forward to it. And I think the incentive token's going to do well. Those yield farmers are going to want that juicy token. And man, they've got some big money, so we're looking forward to that. Hope you guys are having a good time out there. Yeah, ching ching. Nice to see green markets, right? We're liking to see that, especially the Hex. We're going to talk about the Hex later on, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having a good time out there, watching those portfolios go up at the moment. Now, I have got a poll in the house at the moment. Let's have a look at that. So bullish now, and we're definitely bullish now. But what will the crypto market do in November? That has been the month that a fair number of people thought that we might get the bottom there, and I think that that's still in play from my point of view. The November is the time. I think if we're going to get that bottom, it might happen there, because we know crypto can move up pretty well and it can move down pretty fast as well. So that's not in the chat there at the moment, though. We're enjoying the green, and why not enjoy it while it is here. Now we've got what's I got here? Go up, more gains. So you think there's going to be more gains? The price is going to go up in November and be contrarian to maybe what I think a few people do hold views. And what do you think it's going to move sideways, or just hodl, sit nice and pretty there despite what any news that comes out? We've got the Fed interest rates on the 2nd of November. That's probably the big one. And inflation, I think, on the, was it the 14th or 15th? So I think it's the 14th. So yeah, we got, or do you think it's going to go down? Crypto's going to go down and you should take profits. Let me know what you think, if you should take profits. And of course, the worst case scenario, which is really finding the bottom, which is kind of when we expected to have it happen in November. It could be late though. Maybe it comes in that second interest rate rise in December. Maybe it does it then. Who knows? It could be that'd be interesting. Big drop, 11K and pray, or do you think we'll just get to that 14K? Because many people have got 14K and not 11K and pray. So we'll see. Let me know in the chat. Get in there and vote. Basically, we've got 31 votes so far, so get in to do that. Now, I've got the title of the video is Hex Price and Markets Move Higher. They definitely have. You guys have been watching that and enjoying it, I no doubt. We've also got the Hex God, obviously buying and staking, sign of things to come. We're going to talk about that. And, of course, Wen Pulsechain V3, sir. Let's speculate on that. We're going to speculate on that. Obviously, we're not Richard Hart, so we don't know, and no one else does. But we're going to speculate on that a little bit there. Let's get in the house and see who's there. We got BC in the Matrix. Good to see BC. We got Sandy Beach in the house. Good to see Sandy Beach there. Sarah G's coming in with some geopolitics here. The war between Russia and Ukraine is probably over for the peace negotiations. So I'm expecting crypto to go up. Yeah, I don't think that they're even close to getting anything there. I do know that the Russians are talking to the Turks, and of course the Americans, or at least parts of the Democrat Party in America is trying to press the president to do negotiations there with Russia and Putin. But we'll see. I think they're still up in the air there. I don't think we're anything close to anything like that. I see too many issues. Also, annexation and, of course, potential targeting of Ukraine's big dam. I'm not sure that's going to get us any closer to peace at the moment. So, yeah, I still think that's a bit of a wild card at the moment there, Sarah. But we'll be watching that pretty closely. And if it did play out like that, sure, that'd be great for the markets in the short term. I would agree with that. Lives beneath in the house there. Hello, how are you today? Good to see you as well. The ultimate strategy, of course, Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PSX for the win. Absolutely. We got Rango in the house as well. Morning all. How are you, Superman? Has the signing for the Texan token been checked to the pretty safe? Now, Rango, I haven't actually claimed it yet, but we've got the Texan community inside our Discord. KD has said that that's fine, so see no issues with that. Obviously, it's run by Rag to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat, so that gives you a little bit more confidence. Obviously, nothing is certainty, but it seems that a lot of people have claimed that Texan token. You should be okay. But once again, do your investment due diligence. Yeah, I'm cautious. Even though YouTubers can say things are fine and maybe they've been checked, you really need to go and check the source there. Maybe get into Discord there and get KD to sign that off. So hopefully that helps, Rango. KD in house there. Hey, all. Woo! Super good to see KD as well. We got Wookie in house. Wookie is pumping up the bear market, says Wookie. Like that one. Shano as well. Good to see Shano. Yo, good to see Shano. Shano has been the boss on social media. Love it. And I look forward to more of your content, Shano. Brennan says, good morning. I'll be lurking in the background today. Hey, Brennan, appreciate it. Ted's in the house as well. Good morning to you, Ted. Did he pause? It's that time. It's definitely that time. A very nice time for a green pump in the market, so we like that. Hey, PLSD Thailand. Hey, all from the lands of smiles. Good to see PLSD Thailand in the house. And, of course, we're going to be talking about a lot of that. So we're going to be talking about the stock market. We're going to get into crypto. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to get the Hex, of course. And we're going to talk about the Hex God whale. We're going to get the Hadron and the big auctions coming up. We're going to be talking about Pulse of Bitcoin, of course, which has been doing extremely well. We're going to talk about BNB Pot, which is our speculative play on this channel. And, of course, we're going to get into the Hex Daily Stats. So I hope you guys enjoy that one. It's all coming up, folks. So we're going to get into it. Loving all the love, says PLSD. That's true. Andrew says, happy hump day. All Hex on the move. Train leaving the station. And howdy. Good to see you, Andrew, as always. Hexian as well. Good morning to you. Crypto Leagues in the house there is owning 70 million Pulsechain enough, or should have to get more? Now, I've seen this question a couple of times, so I'm not sure if the same person just putting it up there. I'm pretty sure you asked that the other day, or someone similar. Then if you're asking me that, of course, 70 million is a great bag to have. So, yeah, a very good bag to have. Hex, was it? Hello, Hex Token, and everybody says Sandy Beach. Good to see you, Sandy Beach. And, of course, PLSD Thailand and rockets up and to the right. We've definitely got that going on there. Yeah, looks like Crypto League is, I don't know why you keep posting your comments there. Maybe a little bit scam malicious on that one. No need to post your comment there twice, Crypto League. Appreciate it. We've got trying to keep this this channel clean. Matt Jones in the house there. Hey, all. Hey, good to see you, Matt. Crypto Dan as well. Hi, Crypto family. Good to see Crypto Dan. And I think Tim Toppers as well. What's up, Hexkins? Hey, welcome, everybody. Hope you guys enjoy yourself. Let's get into it, folks. And, of course, Crypto Claus in there as well. Hey, Crypto Claus. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly because, you know, the old accent and pronunciations can be a bit tricky there. Crypto Claus. Let's say Claus. I'm saying they say Claus there. Morning, team. Good to see you. All right, Great White as well. Jumping in there. A couple of people sneaking in there towards the end of the intro. That's just the way we go. Raymond as well. My goodness, people are sneaking in here. What's up, guys? I might have gone too heavy on PLSB. Sold my PLSD for it, says Raymond. I think it's looking so bad. It's reasonably good at the moment. Sandy says, a scam malicious. Yeah. Scam malicious. Yeah, there's no need to put in the comments twice. I will see them. As you guys know, I'm pretty good at reading the comments most of the time. All right, so here, let's have a look here. The stock market. Let's get into it. Looking pretty good. And, of course, we've got the Dow Jones up 1%, 337 points to 31,836. Remember, the Dow Jones is the top US 30 industrial firms there. And we've got the S&P 500 is up 1.6%, which is pretty nice, 61 points to 3,859. The NASDAQ is up a whopping 2.25%. Remember, the NASDAQ has a lot of the tech companies in it, those FANG stocks. And, of course, that's up 246 points to 11,199. So this is, say, 11,200. We've got the dollar is down 1% there, 110 on the index versus its trading partners. And, of course, let's have a look at the commodities. We got a little bit up, a little slightly up here, $91.25 for Brent oil. And, of course, West Texas there at $85 up 42 cents. It's a slightly bigger mover there. And what else do we got there? Gold is down $2 at $16.56. And silver is down 14 cents to $19.32. And, of course, silver's the one that Kiyosaki, as I always say, has said might do, a 5 to 25x in the price moving ahead, particularly if the Fed does its interest rate reversal and the US dollar decides to dive after that. Then silver could have a nice little rally there. All right, so cool. That is pretty much the indicators. Let's get into the commentary. Dow continues much higher as falling yields booster tech. We like that. Bolster tech, I should say. Bolster tech. The Dow continued its advance Tuesday as falling treasury yields help tech stocks mount a move higher just as earnings season heats up. So earnings season is going to be very important. See how healthy these companies are in this increasingly higher interest rate environment. So Meta Platforms led the rally in big tech, rising 6%, following a more than 1% gain in Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet. So these big FANG stocks. Microsoft reported a beat on both top and bottom lines, but slower than expected growth in its cloud business Azure weighed in. Alphabet, meanwhile, fell more than 5% after reporting a miss on profit and revenue in Q3. Earnings from big tech will either expose the negative underlying fundamentals across the tech space and cause massive earnings cuts in 2023, or prove that the bearish and demise of growth tech was premature. So we were looking at that. We do know that some of the tech companies have been changing their employment policies in terms of not adding, either hiring people or shedding some. So that's been definitely showing some cracks in them. Falling treasury yields also helped boost sentiment on big tech as data pointed to a weaker than expected consumer, stoked further investor bets for less hawkish Federal Reserve rate hikes. So obviously it's going to bode well. It's not great for the economy, less confidence from the consumer, but of course better for the interest rate, more softer interest rates, so less hawkish. So hopefully that will play in a little bit there. The consumer confidence index fell to 102.5 in October from a downwardly revised 107.8. Remember, anything over 100 is generally still a bullish sign, but of course the expectation was 107.8. Economists forecast a reading of 106.5, sorry, is what they were expecting there. And of course, that's down from 107.8 in September, which is the actual number. So still not meeting expectations, but still a growth number. Signs of weaker consumer didn't dent optimism about retailers. So that was certainly good. We're going to jump past the rest of it and so forth. So looking pretty good there, folks, in the markets. And we're going to jump into crypto. And crypto looking really good here. BTC up 3% to $20,016. ETH at up 7.69% up to $49.52. And BNB at $285 and up 4%. Some really nice moves there. XRP at 46 cents, up 1%. ADA there up 11.57% there to 40 cents on ADA. And that's pretty nice, right? That's pretty nice. I'm sure Hoskins is happy about that. Looking through others here, Litecoin is up 5.8%. ETC is up there as well in the green, as we say. Uni is up pretty nicely too, up 5% to $6.48. That's some pretty interesting prices there. So looking pretty good. We're going to jump into some of the commentary from one I think is a really good analyst, and that is Capo of Crypto. The fact that this retracement is happening before taking the last high is a good sign. In my opinion, we will see the last push to 21K this week. So he's thinking that this is the last push higher before we go to find that bottom. So that's his perspective. And of course, I find him to be pretty good. Time pivots October the 27th and November the 2nd there. The interest rates, of course. So it's pretty important there. Now, obviously, we're the 26th at the moment. So 27th and November the 2nd there are his pivots. Key levels, $21,000 and $14,000 is Bitcoin. So going up to 21 and down to 14K. And of course, at the moment, that's what we've got in the poll there. So the poll we've got on here is big drop, find 11K and pray, or 14K. And this is where commentators like Capo are talking about. Let's have a quick look at his chart here. So he's got this going up, and see this long-term red line here, the downward resistance here, hitting that 21K, coming back down to 19,300 here. And you can see the timeline end of November here. And then you've got a little reprieve here back to 20,000. And then as we enter early November, and of course the interest rate rise comes out 75 basis points, and down the market goes. Bitcoin goes. He's got it going down to 15,700. Little retrace here, and then down. By the time we get to mid-November, and of course we've got the inflation data coming out by then, he's got that coming down to that 13,700, 14K per area. A little bit of recovery there, back up to 15,000, down to 14,000 again, and of course that looks like about maybe the 17th, 18th of November, and then he's actually got it going up again. But of course, he doesn't have the 14th of December, which is the last interest rate rise of the year in here. Maybe that's going to be 50 basis points. We will see. So that's kind of his here. I actually think this is actually pretty good looking forward look. Actually, I do think that we could have this quite a complete reversal next week when we have the interest rate rise. We're watching that pretty closely. So let me know what you think, though, in the chat there. I tend to think this is probably a more probable event next week and onwards, so the next 2 weeks. So you let me know what you think in the chat there. So it's always good to raise these things and let me know in that poll what you think is going to happen, because I actually think this is probably the most probable event to me, and still holding on to that at this stage. Hey, But does that mean that Hex will follow as well? If we have some extra buy pressure during this, that'd be pretty impressive, being and not correlated to Bitcoin and stuff like that. So let me know what you think there. I'll post you the link to this commentator in the chat there, and you can check that out. All right, and follow if you want to. I think he's a pretty good commentator there. Now he's got a couple others in here as well. We got the topic there, continue the pump 2 hours ago. It says continue the pump. So the pump is definitely on at the moment, but he's got a pivot coming up for next week's interest rates. And I think that's the fear, right? That's the fear. We have all these green days leading up, all this optimism. And of course, then we have this reversal, which could be pretty dramatic in November. So that's the risk there. All right, cool. That is pretty much it. Let's get into the Hex, of course. Woohoo! Hex.com. If you haven't checked out Hex.com, of course, we think it's pretty much the best savings product in crypto. One of the few products that did 10,000x in price during the bull market, within like 2 years. And of course, well in excess of 20,000x if you've been staked as well. Of course, we're referring to the all-time low price of the 5th of January 2020, as opposed to other price ranges. But that's pretty amazing. And we're looking forward to bigger things coming from Hex.com in the future, of course. And of course, we cover a lot of those variables, in particular, the circulating supply and a lot of the buy and sell fundamentals. So if you want to find out more about that, just watch this channel. We cover it daily and weekly, of course. Let's get into it, folks. The price chart, though, at the moment, look at this price chart. Woohoo! Nice. Looking very nice. So that is the chart there. And bam, look at that. We're going to come back from here, back on the 21st here. And, of course, we've had a nice little pump here. Look at that. 4 days, a 40% pump in 4 days. Isn't that cool? 40% pump in 4 days. And, of course, the Hex God, wow, rearing up here is breaching the ocean, as it were, and participating. So pretty exciting there. Now, I have got the fact that this is our accumulation zone. But this accumulation zone was taking into account a pullback in November. So being the more probable event to have the pullback that we're expecting. And that's for Bitcoin and so forth. So this was taken into account. This at the moment, of course, nice accumulation. Now, if you guys recall, I talked about wildcards in a wildcard in this, and of course, it looks like we had a wildcard play out, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting. I've been talking about wildcards in the last couple of weeks, and of course, some people picked that up and made comments about it. But that's where we are at the moment, up 40%, pretty nice. So we've got our wildcard as well. We've got the accumulation zone. Now, will we get the capitulation in the month of November? And of course, people are filling out the poll. 57 votes so far. Get in there and vote, folks. We're going to look at that a bit later. So cool. Now we've got these key events coming up here, and of course we've got the Fed rate hike. Now we didn't used to have to care about these things, right? Because we had cheap money year after year after year, cheap money pretty much for the most time. And of course now we're moving to this point where we've got more expensive money. Now we have to care about these financial indicators that are up in the market, right? The Fed interest rates and inflation and things like that. Because that's what's driving the cost of capital, right? So we've got this at the moment. Fed rate hike here is the 2nd of November, and of course we're expecting probably a 75 basis points. There is my scenario, which is the midterms, which I think is on the 8th of November. I think the 8th of November is the midterm vote. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is the 8th for the midterms, and of course that could be quite bullish. I think if the GOP takes it. And I'm hoping so, because the rest of the people in there are absolutely completely nuts. So it'd be better for that outcome. So we've got the Fed rate hike coming up on the 2nd of November. Then, of course, we've got the Hex HSI auctions. And, of course, what a period to have this. It's super bullish, I think, for Hadron and Hex. But, of course, what will that mean for if the markets do that big Bitcoin retrace for this? So, obviously, correlation is going to be important here. So we're going to see what that looks like at the moment. Now, I'm going to talk about Hadron separately. So we've got some extra data on Hadron chart there. At the moment, of course, we've got the Hex third birthday coming up on the 2nd of December. And then the Fed second interest rate, the last one for the year, coming up on the 14th of December. So we're not quite out of the woods after this rate hike on November. We got this one here too. And at the moment, I'm thinking 75 basis points and 50 basis points, which is kind of the general expectation at the moment. Now, obviously, we get that consumer confidence index came back a little bit there. So maybe we might get a bit of softer, maybe a bit of less hawkish behavior coming in. And so at the moment, 75 and 50 basis points, that would get us to about 4.5% federal fund rate, approximately by the end of December. And hopefully we have no more rate rises into next year, although there's definitely potential for 25 basis points in February next year. But other than that, we really don't want, we want the Fed to pivot. It does feel like they're probably going to pivot here. Remember, they're targeting 2% inflation. They have a dual mandate. Remember, employment as well is the other one. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. Now, in all of this, of course, will we get a V3 testnet? That would be bullish for Hex as well, because that would be, instead of BSC, this would be Ethereum proof of stake. Now, will we get it in November? Speculation, don't know. And of course, it would be bullish if we did get the V3 based on the ETH proof of stake network. That'd be bullish for the sign for the people, because we know that that's going to be relatively short. Richard's kind of indicated to be on the shorter side of things. How long will that be? I don't know, 3 weeks, something like that. We'll see. Maybe 5 weeks. We will find out. And of course, then of course, Pulsechain launch. Maybe Hopium. I've got Hopium here because no one really knows. But let's. If it was December Christmas present, January maybe next year. That'd be pretty cool. Now there are some people out there with a scenario of March or April next year. So that's definitely plausible. But of course, with our Hopium, we'd be pretty nice to see it earlier. Now, obviously, they're just doing a fork of that. They have to put in that 0.25% fee in there. Maybe they meddle with the S-load function fee, things like that. But other than that, you would think they should be able to get that up and running fairly well. So we're looking forward to that. They just do stuff around, obviously, the 32 pulse there, and so the implications of that as well. So we're waiting to see how all that plays out, but I think that's pretty fun. We're going to have fun times if it comes early, bullish sign. And maybe that will, if the market does decide to tank, maybe that would help offset, certainly make us uncorrelated. That would definitely might be seen as a bullish sign. People will allocate capital accordingly. So let's see how we get on. November is kind of that really uncertain month, and we're trying to see what happens. But we have got lots of cool stuff coming in November, and I think you guys can all see that on the chart. So at the moment, of course, 40% nice little increase there. I got the accumulation phase running all the way to the 16th of December. And of course, that's when I expected a really true getting through this interest rate rise and things like that, getting through the pullback in the market and onwards and upwards. Of course, we've had the little wild card play out here and looking good at the moment, 40% increase. And of course, let's see where we go from here. So that also has obviously the higher Hex value, also has an implication for the valuation on the Hex HSI stakes as well. One would think that may have a valuation impact on the HSI value also. So that's pretty interesting. We're going to see how that plays out as well, although we won't actually have the counterpoint because we'll be at a higher value, right? So you'd have to plug in some lower value numbers around 3.1 cents compared to, say, 4.2 cents at the moment. In these HSI valuations, because now they're more valuable, right? Hex is more valuable. So these HSI stakes are more valuable at the time of auction. So that's pretty awesome. Now we're going to talk more about the HSI auctions coming up. That should be pretty cool. But in any case, let's have a look at the time frame. We're only 6 or 7 days away from the Fed interest rate hike. We're only 18 days away or less, maybe 17 days away from the Hex HSI auctions. And then of course our third birthday there, we're 37 days away from Hex's third birthday, and the second Fed rate rise is about 49 days away. So it gives you a time frame leading into the end of the year. Those good old Christmas holidays we all enjoy. All right, so cool. Exciting stuff. Let's jump over to the other chart. Now this chart is a little different. This is a 12-hour difference in this chart, so the candles are shaped differently because they're on a 12-hour different period. And of course, let's have a look at how this is going. This played out really nicely. Remember I said if we get really tight Bollinger Bands, which we did, which is the top blue line, bottom blue line, that's the top 95% and the bottom 5% of the price range. And we got this yellow line. This is the EMA 13, exponential moving average. Basically, it weights prices towards the more recent prices in terms of the average. That's an EMA 13, so 13 periods. This is on a daily candle. So it weights it. And of course, when we get that crossing the red line, which is the 50% price mark in the Bollinger Band price range, we get these things two together. They really have been working out pretty nicely in terms of a break up or a breakdown. In this case, a break up. And that has played out really nicely. So super, super good there on that. This is on a linear chart, of course. We got the DMI, of course. The buyers look in green, looking really good. And the confirmation of trend in orange is super bullish. Remember, anything over 25, which is down here, this 25 is a confirmed trend. And man, that's looking bullish. Look at that, looking so good. And of course, the Hex God has been playing its part there, the old wild card. And of course, look at this. The RSI here is getting up to 75. So we might get we could stay up here for a couple of days though. We could, but definitely getting into the overbought territory here. So just stay cautious there, San Diego. Stay cautious there, San Diego. Does make that new phrase up? I don't know, but there we are. Stay cautious, San Diego. There we go. All right, we also got the stochastic RSI here. This is looking pretty good as well. And of course, we could get a bit of this kind of action playing out over the next couple of days too. So that's looking nice as well. All right, so cool. That's kind of Hex, but let's get into Hex God. Here's one of the addresses here. Got a couple of addresses, of course. And of course, here, this one here is showing the transactions here. Lots of money coming in from the Kraken. And of course, ended up buying Hex on the market. And of course, then ended up staking as well. So this is kind of where we are at the stage. Now, we've got a bit of BitSurfer here posted the picture here. Hex God decided to do a 5555 stake with millions of X. Some interesting behavior here, really for sure. So we got all the burn address here staked for 5555, almost 6.5 million Hex was staked there on this one. So interesting behavior there. Obviously, the Hex God already got tons of stakes out in the future. Now you can find all the Hex. We've got a lot of the Hex God accounts in here. Now I know Gunther, the account, aka Wolverine, has done a lot of work behind this. You know, there are a couple of people in the community that like to do the blockchain analysis, and they pretty much do it full time. And of course, at the top of the list there is good old Gunther. And of course, here is some of the other Hex God addresses under useful links. We've got OXDD, and we've got OXF52, and we've got OX2B, and we've got OX70, and of course we've got this which is the current address we're looking at here. No doubt that the Hex God has got quite a few addresses, and there we are. That's kind of what we were looking at the moment on Hex God. So pretty cool behavior there. Some interesting behavior there from Kraken. Now people can theorize about that, and some people think, you know, it's the Hex God. It's a Genesis wallet, and of course I think it originally had 400,000 Ethereum or something, for over 400,000 Ethereum. And of course, some people may think it's Richard, may not think it's Richard, all that sort of good stuff that people like to speculate on there. Maybe it's someone in Richard's inner circle. Some people speculate that Richard is working with other big holders, and like his friends in the circle. Some of those theories go around as well. So whatever it is, we had a nice little 40% pump in the price there. A bit of a wild card played out, and we are in the accumulation phase at this stage. Nothing has really changed in this story here. All right, so cool. That's the stuff that's going on there. Let's jump over to Hadron, and of course, let's get into this. This narrative continues, folks. Only gets better and better and better. Obviously, Hex and Hadron really are, for me, looking really, really good. Now, I've had two probable plays, as you guys know, Hadron, and of course, PLSD / Pulse Bitcoin. Those are my two probable plays. Obviously, Hex is an accumulation, so that's played out pretty nicely. And of course, we have our speculative play, which has been BNB Pot. So those have kind of been the four that we've been focusing on. Because we're trying to focus on probable value now, we're focusing on probable value now, not possible value in the future. You know, if you want possible value in the future, then, you know, take your ticket and hopefully you're lucky, right? That's kind of what, you know, there are projects out there that we've been talking about before that have possible plays, but once again, they're not probable plays. And of course, you just taking a position and hoping for the best. A bit like if you bought Shiba early on, you bought Shiba and you hope for the best, right? You hope for the best, and man, you were lucky. You were one of the lucky ones, right? It's kind of out of tens of thousands of cryptos, you managed to be lucky. So we want probable plays. We want to make money now. We want to make sure that we've got holding up value in the future. So we want probable plays, and that's what we're focused on here. All right, so cool. This is the Hadron chart here. Now, we did have a nice little cup and handle here. And it broke down. Right? So it broke down, and away we went here. So it broke down over here. But we now have another mini cup and handle here. And of course, it's a smaller one, but that's playing out as well. We also have this sort of a pendant here, and not quite perfectly symmetrical pendant, but you know, a bit of a pendant here with the resistance. And of course, we have got time ticking, right? So time ticking, we've still got the interest rate hikes here, and we're expecting maybe 75 basis points. We could see a massive pullback in the market. It gets sold off by people. We were looking at the moment, obviously at the moment, all the shorters that are shorting market getting burned, but maybe on the other side, the interest rate, that is the opportunity, and the market comes down. So people are filling out the poll there. We've got 70 votes already, so get into that. So this is kind of where we are. We've got inflation on the 14th coming out there. So that's inflation result coming in November, but it's for the month of October, right? So last time, remember September, we had, I think it was 8.2%. If this can come back a bit, that's going to also give another reason for the Fed to have less hawkish interest rate rises as well. And we want it to pivot, right? Because in absolute terms, the interest rate's getting higher and higher and higher. We're already seeing cracks in the real estate market with less house sales and all that sort of stuff going on. So this is what we're looking at the moment. And then, of course, we've got the big event, the big HSI Hex auction bonanza. Look at that. Woohoo! Coming up there on the 13th of November. And, of course, that's going to be the biggest day, that first day. But then we're going to have quite a good day. The next four or 5 days are going to be quite good. Got a little bit of a gap. And then days 8, 9, etc. going to be quite good. And, of course, it's going to continue on. As long as people are selling Hex HSI stakes to the ICOSA contract in return for ICOSA, we will be having these auctions come up. But at the moment, we have a massive number, 67,049 T-shares in the auction pool. Boo, exciting, man. This is super bullish, right? Greater than 0.64% of total T-shares in the house. So all of the T-shares that we have, we know we've got 10.4 million T-shares. This is a huge number here. Equivalent to 521 million Hex, of course. But we know that a lot of these T-shares are sitting in like 90 different HSIs. And, of course, that's something close to 200 million is sitting in these big ones, the 89 or 90 HSIs. And this is what people are going to be after, is what the Poly Maximus is going to be trying to bid on. People want to get those top 90 because they're really holding the big part of the value. Apparently there's not too many with the early launch bonuses in there. Randy Alaski, of course, has commented on Twitter that he some of them are his, and he says, enjoy. He says, enjoy, he says. So that's going to be pretty fun. So pretty awesome stuff happening here. And it's going to be a bit of a party here, and people are getting their Hadron ready, right? So what's going to happen to this chart? All right, we're going to have a look and find out. But, of course, I have talked about the fact that we could get a lead into 4,800 to 5,000 in my Hadron price prediction video. Now, that's obviously, I said there'll be volatility, and we've definitely had that. It's been probably a bit more bearish than my short-term case in that video. But the longer case, when I'm talking about longer, the first half, let's split it off the first half to the 2nd November. So that short term is definitely more bearish than what it has been, but it's still playing out, right? Still playing out here. And of course, my near term price is still 4,800 on that one. Now, the other one, of course, is once we get into this second half of the period between the 2nd November and the 13th, right? So that's 11 days. This is when we could see some incredible runs. Like, let's see these green candles here. This is when we could see that, and maybe we will breach the 6,300 local high there, and maybe we will even breach the 7,200. Now we're playing probability, right? Playing probability. Here is the prize. This is the prize here. Obviously, that's going to play out the first day. We got most of them. I think it's over 2,500 HSIs up the first day, and then of course it slowly dribbles out over the next 2 weeks, and then just has a big long tail because obviously the contract just keeps going and going. And, of course, that's kind of where we're at the stage. So that's the big prize there. We're going to see how that plays out. So we're playing probability here. Obviously, the market will decide, and nothing is certain. Just remember that. So we're playing probability here. And, of course, at the moment, this is the all-time high, 7,200. And could we break that? Could we break that and, of course, get to the 10,000? And I think I had my the 1.68 on the Fibonacci is kind of like the golden ratio, right? So could we get up to that? I think that was around about 12,000, which would be a pretty nice, a 3x from here, right? A 3x from here. So that's kind of the upper side for me. And of course, crypto can do crazy things. I'm not sure if it's going to do the 2.68 ratio, but I think the 1.68 is definitely possible. And there's 10,000 as well. We will see. And of course, that could happen in a small space of time. That being said, of course, if we get the market pulling back in this bearish scenario down to 14K or 11K and pray, then we may have to taper all that expectation off, right? And we may have to taper that down and look to ourselves and say, well, I think the market's risk off now. And of course, that kind of trumps a lot of things. Sometimes markets can still move up, but if we get that risk off, and then this could all be pretty modest. A pretty modest performance here. We may not even see anything like these all-time highs or even the local high in this. But I think we're going to get some action in any case. We'll get some action, but not tagging these if the market decides to sell off after that federal interest rate rise. So remember, there's a lot of volatility in November. It's a very difficult month to chew ourselves through. And so we'll be looking for that very carefully and cautiously. So I wouldn't get too overzealous is my point of view, but I definitely think that the bullish case, if the market doesn't sell off and move sideways, for example, is looking very good. So if the market moves sideways or up, I think we're looking very good for this HSI auctions to start challenging some of these all-time high prices, including a 1.68, a Fibonacci ratio, that golden ratio up at 12,000. It's going to be fun to see that play out. Obviously, there's a lot of capital required for that. To do that, to move that price, a lot of capital is required. This is a big liquidity pool. Last time I checked it had $2.8 million in it, so it does take quite a bit of capital to do that. So you'd have to see something like the Hex God whale and things like that activated when they're doing like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to get things moving. But of course, we have seen that before back here. We saw a nice little pump rise here to 6,300 and so forth. So we've got a nice uptrend, nice pennant uptrend here, and we'll be watching that pretty closely. So let's see how it goes. We're playing probability here. Obviously, if the market decides to tank after the 2nd of November, then we've got to taper our expectations dramatically, right? And even if this does relatively well to the drop, we must taper it from our potential higher expectations if the market is sideways or higher. So a lot of uncertainty there. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just the way it is. We do have an uptrend though, so it is looking good for a move higher. But we must be, taper that with caution around the wider, basically the ocean that we're operating in, if it decides to have a storm or something like that. So take that into account there. So looking pretty good though, and we're not too far away, right? We're not too far away. Let's have a look at the number of days. So it's 7 days, of course, to the Fed rate hike, 15 days to the inflation numbers, and of course the about 17, 18 days away from the big HSI auction there on the 13th. So getting closer and closer, 2.5 weeks away. And of course, we'll be looking forward to the move. We had a nice day today, of course. We did get down to a low on the price there today of 3,773. And we had a high so far of 4,200, and we're currently at 4,100. So it's kind of been at this range for like the last day, a couple of days, but we have had lower lows here, which have been really weakened off. So this is definitely worse than my short time frame price. I said there'd be volatility, but this price has been lower than what my short time frame was. But of course, we've still got the upside in this zone here, the second zone. So we'll be watching this pretty closely, and the rest of the week, of course. All right, so that's kind of Hadron there. We've obviously got, thanks to Dev Huey for these numbers. Dev Huey, if you haven't followed Dev Huey, does some great work here on the Hadron. And of course, he's a programmer, so can at Web3 as well. So with Web3, you can query the blockchain. And of course, that's what he does. So nice insights there for Dev Huey. Give us this alpha details here. All right, so cool. I'm going to copy Dev Huey's link in there. And if you want to follow Dev Huey, go follow Dev Huey, especially if you're going to be following this Hadron story. He is dropping lots of little information there, which is quite useful for you. So definitely follow that. Now, obviously, the auctions are going to be here. We're going to go to browse liquidation auctions. So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, when HSI hex stakes when you borrow the Hadron against HSI hex stakes, they're different from native hex stakes. So when we go through the normal go.hex website, these are different. They're called native hex stakes. This is a HSI ones. They get wrapped up and all sorts of stuff with other smart contract features around them. Now these go, you can borrow Hadron against them. And if you default after 90 days, it will go to liquidation. And therefore people can buy your Hex HSI stake with Hadron. So that's what we're talking about. So it's bullish for Hadron. People will want to buy Hadron, of course. Some people get it minted free. If you get Hex stakes, you can mint Hadron every day. You can borrow Hadron against your Hex stakes as well. So yeah, it's pretty bullish like that. Now, the other thing, of course, is that whoever wins these liquidation auctions, at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any on this site. And of course, we're expecting that to explode on the 13th. And of course, I don't know if this site's going to be able to handle it. Hopefully it's going to be beefed up by Alex, the McFurter, the dev, because hopefully they'll be able to handle the traffic that's expected. The other thing, of course, is that when the Hadron the winning Hadron that wins that particular HSI stake, it gets burned. So Hadron gets burned. So this is a massive Hadron inflation, deflation event. And of course, it's also going to mean that the rewards to people that are staking Hadron, ICOSA, and who have WhatsApp NFTs, they will get a massive ICOSA inflation event, which means they get a massive ICOSA rewards, and that's huge. And so some of the things that may happen, we may see people capturing some of that value in the second half of November, and we may see people, we may see a massive WhatsApp NFT burn. We've already seen that's dropped below 22,000, I think, last time we checked. In fact, I think we had some updates here from DevHue as well. I'm going to jump through some of that. Yeah, 4 Watts NFTs burned in the last 24 hours, which was $780. So now down to 21,998. So yeah, down below 22,000 now. And of course, you can see all the burns here with the Watts NFTs over the last, a wee while here, September and October. And of course, we've seen a lot more. Now, what's this going to look like in November after the 13th? People trying to capture that ICOSA value, particularly. So we'll be looking out for that. And of course, we haven't covered that, but the actual ICOSA value at the moment is going up with Hex, right? Look at that. Woohoo! So it's gone up a lot here. So to $1.35, $1.36 per ICOSA at the moment. So people might want to capture some of that value if the price holds up. So we'll see. We could see some funny wicks in the ICOSA contract. People selling into that in November. That's kind of one of my thinking what will happen there. So pretty interesting stuff there. That is Hadron, and hopefully that is kind of giving you a quick overview of what's happening there. Pretty exciting, I would say. Pretty exciting indeed. Let's get into Pulse Dogecoin and Pulse Bitcoin. Obviously, one of my 2 probable plays is Hadron, and of course, Pulse Dogecoin. This is talking about probable plays of making crypto profits in the near term, or crypto gains. Let's put it that way. It's some crypto profits if you sell, but it's crypto gains if it's just on the paper there. At the moment, of course, we've got pretty exciting stuff here. Look at this. We've got, I'm going to get rid of the RSI, but look at this. This is the Pulse Dogecoin chart over time. Look at this thing, man. Is this crazy or what? So pretty neat. We've got nice uptrend here at the moment. Obviously, the previous all-time high was $9.53 here. This was on the, let me just get rid of this. I'll just pull it up there. On the 6th of August, we had the all-time high, $9.53. Yesterday, we got to $9.47, just shy of it, 5 cents shy of the all-time high, getting pretty close there, but uptrend is strong. And today at the moment, we're currently at $8.97. What's this happening? Why is this happening? Obviously, Pulse Bitcoin launched, and of course, also that requires a massive burn. So there are 2 things going on at the moment. There's the transform of Pulse Dogecoin into ASIC. ASIC being used for mining the Pulse Bitcoin, which is the new token, the dual token. And of course, PLSD will remain the meme token, but Pulse Bitcoin is becoming the miners token. Just like Bitcoin, it is kind of mirroring the whole idea of Bitcoin, and it's been set up like that where you mine using ASICs. ASIC miners are used in Bitcoin, and of course, ASIC tokens here are pretty much used to mine Pulse Bitcoin. So it's a nice little narrative play on a Bitcoin there. And of course, it opens it up for people. It's environmentally friendly. You don't actually need physical hardware, so you don't have to upgrade every 2 years. You can just mine. It's kind of a clever proof of, it's not quite proof of stake, it's close, but it's kind of its own thematic there. Also, the other thing you can do at the moment is get token miners. And of course, this might be a better, longer play, particularly if there becomes multiple tokens. So it has been talked about there being a Pulse Litecoin as well, and you need ASIC miners or ASIC tokens to mine those multiple tokens. So you could see this sort of play going on here. So that might be a good play there as well. The vast majority of people are doing the transform PLSD to ASICs, and maybe we'll see a new all-time high price here going higher and higher and higher. But why would we get that? Because when people transfer the PLSD to ASIC, they are burning the Pulse Dogecoin. meaning the supply of this token is getting less and less and less. And I do think it holds the top meme spot. I know that there's the original token was Dogecoin, and I know Randy Alaski holds lots of that, but I really do feel that this free airdrop to Hex stakers, which if you're a Hex staker at the 20th of April, you would have qualified if you had claimed, of course. And of course, I think it's been very popular and dominated the space, to be honest. I think that's fairly clear. There are heaps of meme coins in the space, but I think this one is dominating. And of course, let's have a look at the Pulse Bitcoin and have a look at the website. So this is pulsebitcoin.app. And of course, this is the actual app that people use. You can see here are the two things, the transform PLSD. That is this line here. So that's this thing here. You can see it's going from pretty much the 21st of October through to about the 19th of December there, just before Christmas. So that's cool. And then, of course, they've got the ASIC token miner here, this one here, and that is going all the way from the 21st September of October all the way through to the 20th of November, approximately 21st of November. So you can sort of see this is a limited time to do both of these. Obviously, once we get to the end of this phase on the 19th here, you won't be able to burn any more Pulse storage coins. So that meme coin will be pretty rare. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It'll be interesting to see what the whales do too, in terms of the PLSD value as well. And of course, confirming that narrative about the meme coin as well. So it's obviously become super scarce there. And we'll be watching how these two dual token systems work together. And maybe there's a third one, a Pulse Litecoin as well. We'll be watching that too. Let's have a look at some of the results though. Let's look at the transform PLSD. This is the main one that people are using, obviously, to transform. If you do transform a Pulse, a Dogecoin, then you would get, for every 100 Pulse Dogecoin, you get 500 ASIC tokens, and you need ASIC tokens to mine the Pulse Bitcoin. That's pretty much how that works. And of course, let's have a look here. Pulse Dogecoin into the ASIC tokens. They're kind of like the ASIC miners tokens. And of course, let's have a look at the numbers. 2,559,000 Pulse Dogecoin have been so far burned. Can you believe it? That's incredible. Out of 6,094,000. Amazing. That's 42%. 42% has been burned so far. Unbelievable. It's only been a few days, right? Few days, and we already had this amount. It's crazy. Let's go back to our chart again. Look, we're only through this phase here. Look at that. It's only been a few. How many days is that? Not too long. So what's that, about 5 days? Oh my goodness. And we've got a 60-day burn period. That's incredible. So we're only a fraction of the time. How high will this get to? Now, I had Pepe on here the other day, one of the whales in the community, very knowledgeable, wonderful guy. And he was talking about potentially 3 to 4 million being burned. He is doing, so far it's going pretty well towards his target there, 3 to 4 million being burned. It's heading very well towards that bottom of that range, not far away actually. And of course, got plenty of time to try and get there. So it's pretty impressive. So for every Pulse Dogecoin that you put in here, you get 5 ASIC tokens. And so we're up now to 12.5 million ASIC tokens here that have been transformed. In other words, people have swapped their PLSD, which got burned, for ASICs. And that's where we are at this stage. So pretty amazing. Now, obviously, you take your asset token and you put it in the mining tab, which is the third tab here. And of course, you will get a reward. 7.5% is the mining rate. Like Bitcoin, it's going to have these halvings. And of course, you're going to get less per rate there. So that's pretty much, it's kind of a mirroring the Bitcoin there. There is an ASIC mining fee, which means the ASIC is deflationary as well. So being able to get these miners up and running for you, there will be a deflation in that market, which I kind of think is cool. There's now 4,275 miners. That's up dramatically from yesterday. And so, yeah, that's going on pretty nicely there. The halvening, of course, it's 8.8%. So basically, once the amount of supply gets up to 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin, which is this new token, and don't remember, we won't see that token on the market for another 25 days. So just remember, there is no trading Pulse Bitcoin. It's not out there. 25 days to go before you'll see anything. And of course, at the beginning there, it's going to be probably, I don't know, it's going to be probably quite highly priced and volatile. So just remember, take care out there. Don't fall for scams. There's no Pulse Bitcoin out there. Don't get fooled. We don't want people getting, pulled like that. At the moment, of course, the halvening 8.8% through. Once we get to that 10.5 million Pulse Bitcoin, this will end up going down, down, down. Now, obviously, this Pulse Bitcoin is being accrued at the moment to these miners that are mining. So we've got 4,275 miners. They have so far earned 924,000 Pulse Bitcoin at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see that come out. Now, people that obviously have that stuff coming out first, that are mining first, they'll have their Bitcoin coming out first. And of course, they may have some price advantage at the beginning there, but maybe that is a mistake. Maybe they get a bit of a premium, some of them, and then it comes down. Whales start buying up the Pulse Bitcoin, and then, of course, the price keeps going up. So you've got to be careful with this one. There are definitely people probably wanting to accumulate the Pulse Bitcoin. Remember, the narrative here is that there's only ever going to be 21 million. And, of course, if we've got in the first wave, before the first halvening, or the period zero, as we might want to call it, then you've only going to have 10.5 million by then. And, of course, it's going to mirror Bitcoin. It's only going to have 21 million there as well by the end. So 10.5 million is coming out first. That's like half of the supply in the first wave before we have the first halvening. And then, of course, it will go down. This reward will go down from 7.5% down to 3.25% and so forth. So just remember that. But, yeah, pretty fun. I like this. As you guys know, I like stuff that's fun. I like to have fun in crypto. And, of course, this is definitely like that. I like the theme of it. I think it's very good for marketing, and I wish everybody well in it. You know, why not? So the active ATM count. So let's have a look at the other one here. So getting to the ATM count, this part here, it's running for over 30 days, remember. And, of course, there's 1,315 ATMs. It reminds me a bit like the What's NFT auctions. And, of course, people getting ATM NFTs here. And, of course, maybe that will play out well in terms of earning. If Pulse Litecoin comes out, maybe that will be really cool. If you're holding asset tokens, it will have multi-token use there. At the moment, 683,000 points with a 1x multiplier at the moment. So that's kind of where we are on that. So that's pretty cool. And looking forward to see how this trades when it comes out in 25 days. It's going to be a lot of fun there as well. All right, so cool. That is some of the highlights there. Let's get out of here. We're going to look at the weight token at the moment. It's one of our airdrops. That's only at 0045. So definitely weaker there, but most people are just waiting for that token. Quickly look at Zen there. Nothing much changing with the Zen as one of the. So this is the free clock, the airdrops free claim. That's down at 401,000. So it has slowed down a little bit possibly, but that's pretty much just inflating. We expect it to keep inflating for 4 years. So this is a possible play. A lot of people are mining. Some people mine, minting heaps of things. May end up being genius move in the future, but at the moment it's a possible play. It's not a probable play, and we like to focus on probable plays. The inflation is going to be pretty heavy, and of course you're looking at an 8-year period there before 60,000 per day gets down to 10 per day. So maybe it's got a half-life there. Year 3, 4, maybe it does some stuff in the future, and maybe year 2 it does some stuff into the price. So we'll be watching that over time. The BZN there, of course, was holding up pretty nicely on BSC there. And this did some, I thought it was pretty irrational, this move in the price chart here on BSC. And of course, now it starting to capitulate here, and we're down to 501247. Obviously, this is now on 7 chains, I think, 7 chains. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It is a free, was it a mint? It's not free. You do have to, on Ethereum, you have to pay some gas fees. So just remember that. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to BNB Pot. This is our speculative play. So we talked about our probable plays being Hadron, being Pulse Dogecoin. Those are playing out pretty well. Hadron's a little bit slow to the market, but I think it was going to get there. Pulse Dogecoin playing out pretty well as expected. Now, BNB Pot, of course, this has a number of factors which will run out over the next sort of 3 to 6 months. So this has got a bit longer time frame to play out. And of course, in that time space, we're going to have volatility in there because there's sacrifices that got these tokens at $1. And of course, it's now, they've got up to 28x. It's now at 13x. So, you've got to wash out a few of those. Most of them have staked. So we're going to talk about that. But there is a 100,000 BNB Pot participation or incentive reward at the beginning. And of course, that gets won by players. That's been reduced as well. So it's going to take longer to play out. So we're going to see how all these things flush out at the end of the day. We're going to have significant bullish events, and we're going to have significant sell-off events as well. So there's going to be all those things happening during the life of this, as this is the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. It's got amazing gamification, and of course the games are going to be absolutely amazing too. Now, obviously, we're focused on this channel on the staking side of it. So you don't care about the people that are playing. They just play, and you just sit there and you stake your BNB and you earn the rewards, right? In the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. So that's kind of the play there from our point of view. And it is a speculative play compared to, investment products like Hex, for example. So just remember that. All right, so let's have a look here. We've got the current price here at $12.85 at the moment. And, of course, it does feel like it's leveled off the last couple of days here. Now, it was higher yesterday, got up to $15.53. So you've got to have to take into account there's a bit of volatility in here at this stage. but there's some bullish things happening here that we've got to be careful. So there are some sell-off events that they're coming up in the future, but they've got bullish events as well. So remember, it's going to be a mixed bag for the next 3 to 6 months. We've got bullish things happening, new games, things like that. We're going to be talking about all the variables as well. So let's jump over to the market here. Let's have a look at the 24 hours. We had 186 buys and 88 sells going on here. So that's pretty good in terms of the sells. But like I say, if you've got sacrifices that can sell down or speculative players, they can sell down. So just got to absorb that in the market. I have a particular strategy on this. I'm not going to talk about it on this channel, but maybe in the future couple of months I will talk about it. All right, so cool. Anyway, let's have a look at the burn at the moment. So remember, there was only 1 million tokens. This is the first sacrifice project that's gone through the Pulsechain that's actually launched, and it's got the big X returns. People are pretty stoked about it. Now, obviously, you've got to remember that there are positive and buy and sell presses in there. So we're going to talk about that. But anyway, they've had their first burn. Look at this burn. Starts off with 1 million and already down to 999,716. So this is a bullish sign, but of course it's got to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? You need more burn. So this is going to take time to play out. But at the moment, it's already kicked off, and we're up to 284 has been burned already, and this means that BNB is getting scarcer. But that being said, we've got that 100,000 launch rewards for players, and that's got to play out first, right? So that's coming up in the future, and we don't know exactly what day that's going to happen, but we've got to take that into account later on. Now, so at the moment, though, really nice start with the burn, looking really cool. We've got 2,320 addresses there. Now, I've plugged in all the numbers, so we're going to do that. But before we have a look at the numbers, let's have a look at the games. This is the first game out at the moment, and it's been ticking along very nicely. There was someone insane the other day, or was it yesterday, put in $100,000 or something into one of these pots. They won the pot, but man, I would not. The prize, given the prize, I would not have done that. I thought it was pretty crazy. Not exactly sure what happened there, but hey, that's the side. We're looking at the staking stuff here, and of course, the next game coming up, maybe in about 3 weeks' time, is expected to be roulette. And of course, we've got NFTs for these. People own the games. It's not the house. There's no house. It's the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. It's really cool. And of course, people own the games, and they will have to provide liquidity. So I'm looking forward to that. That's coming in about 3 weeks, and that means more revenue for the crypto casino. So imagine revenue already like this, and then gets bigger. And that's pretty cool. If you're staking, you're going to get more rewards. That's what we're focused on this channel, right? The staking and getting those sweet rewards. And this is different from an inflation token as well, because it's based on a business. And so the business revenue is coming in, and your stake is pretty nice. All right, so cool. Let's have a look at the staked percentage here. We can see that on the site here, it says 72.91% of all BNB is now staked. So that has been slowly climbing. It climbed really fast, and it's just been slowly climbing since then. And of course, we got the airdrop here at a 1,100 BNB is going to airdrop. That gets paid out monthly. And we can see that we've only got 5 days and 16 hours to go until the first airdrop gets paid out to stakers because they started during the month, right? They didn't start at the beginning of the month, so during the month. So it's only 5 days and 16 hours to go before the first rewards are accrued, which is pretty exciting. So all the people here, almost 73%, will be getting access to their first rewards, which is pretty nice. The lottery, of course, is weekly. I think they may have given out the weekly lottery. I'm not sure here, but 6.5. But they may have done that anyway. So that's coming up. I think that's coming up maybe in the next 24 hours. Maybe they haven't quite got there yet. Or maybe the 24 hours, the first lottery will happen. So if you're a stake BNB, there's going to be one lottery per week, which is based on 5% of the profit from the crypto casino. And of course, someone randomly is going to get a nice little lottery drop every single week, which is going to be fun. The other thing, of course, is the burn has happened. It's got the burn now at 6.4, but of course, it happens every 24 hours, the burn. And it's 20% of the profits burned, which is pretty amazing. And of course, we saw that on here. We're already down from 1 million down to 999,716, which is very, very cool. So that's going along pretty nicely. I think what else? I think that's kind of it at the stage. Let us jump over to the summary. And of course, at the moment, we've got 617,734 staking. These are from sacrifices and people that have bought on the market. We've got 100,000 reward pool. That reward pool given out to players is at 100,000. And I think we've got the numbers here. Let me just check what we've got the numbers here on. 18,000 at the moment. 18,000 BNB has been allocated so far to players and I guess referrers from the first 100,000. So we're only still got quite a way to go there. Almost 20% of the way through the 100,000 reward there at the moment. So yeah, we've got 100,000 there. That's state, and that means we've got 717,734 state. Remember, the user balance there is 984,986. So the difference between this user balance and, of course, this balance, this total supply here is the BNB that's inside Pancake Swap. So it's inside the liquidity pool. That's the difference between these two numbers, if you're wondering what that is. So that's kind of cool. And of course, these both are derived from the actual smart contract on the blockchain. So we're at 72.87%. You can see that's actually slightly higher now because we saw that on the DApp there. So someone staked some more. So this is really positive numbers staked here. We've got the team. It's got 64,810. So if we include that in the user balance, then we're actually up at 78%, which is heading up nicely. So even though we get this volatility in the price, we actually got people when they do buy in, maybe they're buying it on some sacrifice that sold or someone that sold. We're seeing more and more people actually stake. So it's working out pretty well. Now, we do obviously at the staking period is 100 days. So at the end of 100 days, we have to see all the stake percentage that we see here that has to restake. So we're going to see how that plays out. And of course, I expect price volatility at the end of the first 100 days and so forth. So we've got that and a participation. So there are volatility factors coming out, but volatility brings opportunity. And so if you're thinking, oh man, this thing's just ticking over the profits, if someone's willing to sell and the price gets down to, I don't know, $5, I'm going to pick up heaps and stake all that and earn nice crypto profits. And that might be a play for you. So there's lots of, even though there's there's opportunities as well when we get volatility. So it's just the way it goes. All right, so cool. That would mean at the moment we've got 202,000 BNB outside the liquidity pool on Pancake Swap, and that's 22%. So that's kind of what's floating around in people's wallets. And a lot of that will just be inactive. People will just be sitting on it for some reason. Some people, if you're playing games, of course, you have to have BNB. You get a cheaper fee. Instead of paying 3%, if you've got 100 BNB in your wallet, then you'll get a 1.5% fee on your profits if you're playing. So that's pretty much it. So at the moment, pretty good on the staking side of it, which is the focus of this channel. And of course, looking pretty good. So my folks will be watching this, the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is our speculative play on this channel. So hope you guys are going to enjoy following the journey. So it's innovation. Very rare to get a lot of innovation. And of course, to have an innovative product is great to talk about. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it on that one. Let's get into some of the chats there. Before we do that, I'm going to close down some of this stuff first. Let's close down all the, I'm going to close down all that and get into some of the comments in the chat. Let's close that down as well. Close that down and close that down. Close that one, and we're going to close that. So we're down to the Hex charts here, which is pretty good. So Hex at the moment looking at 4.2 cents. We've got Hadron at the moment at 4,100 approximately. We're going to get the Hex daily stats. Day 1,058, folks, is hot off the press there. And so we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, though, we're going to get into some of the chats and talk about whoever's just arrived. Probably a few people arrived. I think what we might do too is end the poll. We've got 102 votes on the poll, so thanks everybody for the poll. I really do like it when people vote because I love polls. Bullish now, but what will the crypto market do in November? Let's end this poll. 102 votes and see what the results are before we get into the Hex daily stats. Let us see here. We got bullish now, so we got go up. So people think the crypto market's going to go up. We got 36%. That's 1 in 3 people. That's a pretty strong number there. More gains are in store. Big drop, find 11K and pray is 27%. So not quite as strong as more gains, but the 27% is pretty good. And not quite 1 in 3 people, but just above 1 in 4 people. We got move sideways, hodl 22%. That's 1 in 5. And go down, take profits is 1 in 10. So a bit of a battle there, to be honest. But if we take move sideways or more gains, that's 58%. So that's almost 3 in 5 people, isn't it? So interesting stuff there. But if we take down the go down and the big drop, that's what's that? 40%. So 2 in 5 that bearish take some profits. And 3 in 5 that maybe sideways or higher. So a bit of a battle there. So it's going to be fun to see that play out on that one. All right, cool. Let me just get into some of the comments as well. Probably heaps of them here. How far behind did I get to? That's the problem. Let's have a look. We might actually let's play this video quickly one more time. I really like this video. Let's play that one. Bam. All right, cool. Hey, we've got a couple comments here. Andrew is replying to the question about 70 million in the bag there. Imagine Pulse $1 when you have 70 million can do a lot of good for many people. Yeah, well, even 1 cent at 70 million Pulse would be a very happy place to be. Too much entertainment in the space is Raymond. Wish we had some real influencers, says Raymond. Hey, nice one. Appreciate that. And of course, PLSD Thailand says at the end of the month, you can swap some PLSB back to Pulse Dogecoin, says PLS Thailand. At the end of the month, you can swap some PLSB back to a PLSD. That's true. You could do that too. I think we saw Wolverine talk about Pulse Dogecoin, saying that you should put 80% into Pulse Bitcoin, keep 20% Pulse Dogecoin. I think that was Wolverine's comment on that one. PLSD will be too expensive, says Raymond. I hope PLSB does a 10x too, says Raymond. And Crypto Klaus says, I need more Hex, says Crypto. That's, you can never go too wrong with that one, I don't think, Crypto Klaus. Hey, Island Life in the house there, good morning to you with a couple of coffees like that. What else? We've got a couple other comments there. Great White PLSB to $20 as Pepe suggests, and we will be fine, says Great White. Yes, he did say that on our channel. What else there? Good morning, Super. Hey, Pulse Beta, good to see you. Yeah, but Raymond says PLSB hopefully higher than $20, but I think that'd be pretty tasty. Great starting point, though, says Great White. Yep, true. Dancing around with Hex, says Dave Down Under. That is true. PLSD, ASIC, PLSB, Hex, soon PLS and PLSX could be part of it all. I know. You know, we're in such an exciting ecosystem. It's crazy the opportunities. We're getting such good developers that are doing really innovative products. You know, we've got Dipcatcher, Alex, you know, the Hex Info. Lots of people just doing cool projects. KG out there, Power City guys. I mean, it really is a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun here. And of course, we've got Kyle and Dev from Hex. A lot of fun going on there. Tic Tac says sort of 15th looking promising. People praying for the dip, says Raymond. Yeah, I'm not praying for the dip. I don't want the dip at all, but some people want the dip. Praying for the dip. PLSD, yeah, need it, says PLSD. What else there? We've got a couple other comments. P.S. Eisenhower said, the way I see it is we're on a 50-50 zone. Could go up and the bottom is in or could go down. So I'm positioned in X and Hex PLS products with about 40% cash. Nice one there, PSI. Yeah. Like I say, you know, if we do have a big pullback in November, it's good to have some crypto on the sideline, some stable coin, something like that. So think about that. It's up to you what you do. But of course, you know, if the markets do come down dramatically, you'll be able to pick up lots more, right? So you have to think about that. And it's worth us talking about now before it happens, so you can think about that yourself. Maybe watch, you know, get a bit more advice and stuff like that. Andrew Reynolds says, I agree with the chart projection. I think that's very likely. On the other possibility is BTC bottom in December, but either way, we get moving up in January. Yeah, that's why I said, Andrew, I said that, you know, maybe we don't get that November pullback. And of course, as Capo was indicating, who I actually do like this, I like his commentaries and his assessments. Maybe it does drop into December, which might be a little bit of a surprise there. So, yeah, good point. Holy hicka, says Shano. Shano. PSS says, if I'm not fully invested and missed for a run, I'll put it in PLSS and PLSS at the launch. It's a win-win, says PSI. There's some good strategy there, PSI. Michael's in the house as well. Woohoo! ADCD rocks. It does. That's true, Michael. That's true. I was watching a video on that yesterday, actually, on the ACDC. Less than half watching have liked. Yeah, smash the like button, folks. Yeah, take a second just now and go boop, boop, boop with that like button. Smash the subscribe as well. We're heading up towards our next big target is 7,000 subscribers, and you can be one of those. Also, if you haven't gotten to our Discord, the link is in the video description. I think we're getting pretty high, actually. 900. Hey, we hit 900 members. Woohoo! We hit 900. Nice. Yeah, we did it. Wow, we're heading up to 1,000. No, 950. 950 is our next target. So if you want to become a member, hit 950. Let's get into it. But that's cool. Who else has just arrived? We got Lady Lisa in the house. Welcome to Lady Lisa and Prince X there as well. Look at this. Someone's posted. Who posted all these links there? Brian, you're going crazy. Brian's going crazy there. But there we are. Prince 100. I'm not sure if Brian knows Prince. Maybe that's the case there. But we hit 900. So cool. Let's do it. Congrats. What do we get there? Congrats. We hit 900 members. Yay. All right, cool. So we're going to put a party gift for that one. And party. My favorite one, Wedding Crashers, is one of my favorite movies of all time. So nice on that one. Let's put in some of these. No, let me put in some of those. Put a Superman in there too. Bam, and a rocket. Let's do a rocket, and let's do a party. Let's go party. Nice. All right, so cool. We do a pulse chain, pulse gains, as we say. A pulse X, of course, and we'll do a hex. Why not? Let's do a hex there. Bam, and let me just get in here, and everyone, bam, and boom. Let's go. I think it's going to give me a warning. No, there it is. Cool. All right, well done, everybody. And Sandy Beach in there. Nice one. Good to see Sandy Beach. All right, so cool. Let's catch up a few more of these comments in the house there. We've got Island Life is pretty excited about that. Toxic has arrived, so we're going to jump past that. Let's go through. I love Christmas here, Sandy Beach. Me too. I love Christmas, and I love Christmas holidays. Hexologic in the house there. No new moon today, guys. It's Hexologic. We've got a couple of those spans in there too. Wolverine for the wins here, Sandy Beach. Wookiee does get a bit crazy on the full moon. That's true as well. What else? They jump through a couple of those. Let's go through those. Let me go through those. One more Discord member to hit the 100. Yeah, we just talked about that. So nice work there, KD. KD in our chat there. If you want any questions about Texan Token, which is one of the our supportive projects, then ask KD in the Discord there under the Texan Token. So you can do that. Morning like Prince X is 900. Nice one there, Brian. I think I was just caught up to your comments, so a bit of a sad thing there. Crypto Ethos says dead cat bounce, guys. DCA, then larger bags for the massive dips that are coming. Yeah, that's kind of what we've been talking about too, I guess, is remember that you have some dry powder for that November because if the probability, which I think is more probable, plays out, then you'll be pretty happy about that. Superman is my gourd, says Hexpedition. Thanks for the great videos and to all the great Hexkin supporters you collaborate with. Hey, you're welcome to the Expedition. Yeah, we're trying to get the right balance on this channel. You know, we want to stay vibrant and talk about the key stuff. This is a no drama and a family channel, so we try to keep ourselves in that lane as well. But I do appreciate the Expedition. Yeah, it was nice having. If you haven't watched the video yesterday, we had Walrus on from How to Pulse, who's now the growth. Head of growth and partnerships for liquid loans. So check that video out. That was really cool and a real honor to have Walrus on the chat. It was really, really cool. We have more downside, but this pump is nice as Hexfitty. Yeah, that's my worry is that that November will play out after the Fed rate rise. Just seems a bit too optimistic in the stock market at the moment too. That's probably where I think about that. So cool. Hey, Island Life there, member for 7 months. Woohoo! Hey, well done, Island Life. Appreciate it. I love the 7 month supporter, man. That's got to be right up there, that's for sure. Alfred and House, yeah, baby. Acosa, that's true. Lammy says, won't we still be at a loss if we sold Acosa versus price paid for NFTs? Possibly, Lammy, possibly. You'd have to work out your spreadsheet on that. Hopefully everybody looks after spreadsheets for their own portfolios. Really is important to keep a track of your profitability, based on US dollars and, of course, whatever other metric you use in crypto metric. Pulse Thailand up and to the right. That's true. Hex Machine says, finally feeling good about the market today. Been a minute. Yeah, we have been. It's nice to see this big, nice move as well. 55 days left to go. Not too long at all. Right, Refine says a deep psychological event is coming. It's going to be true. Especially if that retrace happens, we get that full 11K in pray. That would be true. Or 14K. Maybe we'll get to 14K. J Ra says, good morning all. Hope everyone is feeling hexy. We're feeling very hexy today, J Ra. And welcome to the chat there too. Pat Sammy says, hi all. Looks like hedge funds started buying BTC again. I don't know. How's the premium there for the Grayscale Trust going? I haven't looked at that for a little while. I wonder if that's gone up a bit there. DB says, what do you know? You know what? Hex is the GOAT. That's what. That's true. That's true, DB. And Pulsechain is 1 day closer. Congrats on 900 members. Definitely congrats. That was a huge, huge milestone, Sandy. PSI says it's a lot of fun burning PLSD for ASICs and then mining. Ended up doing more than I planned just because I got carried away. Yeah, that's it. You're probably not the only one there, PSI. You're probably not the only one there. When the PLSI comes out, in about 25 days, Sandy. 20th November, Fat Sandy's got there. It's cool. Yeah, 25 days until the first PLSB will be claimed. And it is fun. I think it's fun. We like to have fun in crypto. It is cool to have fun. All right, cool. Matt Jones, very interesting, says Matt. what else there? PSI says, I thought perhaps Pepe said that PLSB could potentially be staked, and that's how you will earn Pulse Litecoin. Maybe PSI, or maybe you need the ASIC tokens to mine Pulse Litecoin, which would make sense to me. But yeah, we'll see. Let me ask there. We go jump through some of this. Yeah, about 320 PLSD. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to there, BSI. I'm a bit confused on that one. Let's jump through some of this. We're going to jump through some of those. Jumping all the way here. How far behind am I? Let me see. We're at 132. Oh, I'm still about 15 minutes behind. It's crazy. PSI says, BNB, there was a mistake in the contract with regard to the lottery. Can be called at any time by anyone who runs the function. It's the same for the airdrop and the burn, but they have a time restriction, says PSI. But it was omitted by mistake from the lottery. So it's been called a few times as PSI. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so that's probably on Telegram, right? I have not seen that. So cool. Let us see. PSI says, did you see the tweet about buying Pulse Dogecoin, minting ASICs, then buying PLSD back and repeating to burn more and more Pulse Dogecoin? And the like, interesting strategy. That is pretty interesting too. What else have we got there? ACD Roxing. Yeah, that's that music I was playing, so it's cool. Jumping. Jeff says, theoretically, if someone had 500 million PLSX and only 23 million Pulse, would you suggest they balance that out at launch? Yeah, I probably would do that, but then you maybe not at launch, but early on you could probably do that. I don't know. You wouldn't want to be. You got to be careful. Ratio trading, Jeff. I mean, 500 million PLSX, I'd be pretty happy with that. So yeah, you probably could. Think if there's an opportunity in front of you, definitely you probably balance that out a bit more. Like having fun, says Sandy Beach. Me too. All right, cool. Let's get into Hex Daily Stats, folks. 1,058 is the day, 25th of October, and we've got the price at 4.192 cents, up 4.7%. Now, yesterday I didn't cover yesterday's numbers because we were on with Walrus. The price was at 4 cents yesterday, up 11.5%. So we've had 4 good days in the office, which we all appreciate. We've got the Hex payout per T-share, 6.168 today. It was 6.187 yesterday. And the T-share price today is back over $1,000. Woo-hoo-hoo! 1,046, folks. And the share rate there up 13.4 today, a dot day yesterday, and we're now at 24,946. The only way to get this cheaper is to stake for 10 years. Every year you get 20% more shares. So that's 200% more shares. That would be a third of the price. So when's the last day that we had a $1,000 for a T-share if you're going to stake in the short term? Let's have a look. Go back here in time. It's been a little while, actually. 60 days. 60 days, 70 days. So looks like around about day 998. That was the last day. So that's crazy. So yeah, like something like 70 days there. So awesome. What's that? 60 days? 60 days ago, I think it was, that we had $1,000 T-share price. So that's amazing. So people have had an opportunity during that period of time. The average stake net is 6.67 years, and the APY rate, yield and emergency impact penalties there, is 37.52%. Liquidity in the pool is 178,468,000, and the liquidity in the pool 13.7 million. We got the liquidity in the pool at 1,955 Ethereum there. Really cool. I mean, look, we were down at 10 million 10 days ago, and now we're back up towards 13.7 million. Like you guys know, let's get up to 20 million, 30 million, 40 million in the USDC. That'd be pretty cool. It'll be fun to see. All right, so at the moment, looking not too bad. Obviously, people buying and selling moves this price around. People also adding and removing liquidity is also a good things that move this around. So take that into account. T-shares, we had a small amount yesterday, 127, but we're up 10,000 today, and we're sitting at 10,450,000 T-shares. Pretty crazy, right? And of course, we know that in Hadron, the Hadron there, we're talking about having 67,000 up for grabs, folks. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 0.64% of total T-shares. So that's pretty exciting there on the Hadron. So pretty cool. Let's have a look at some of the other numbers here. We're going to jump to the stake percentage of coins. 9.74% of all Hex is staked at the moment. We had pretty modest days and penalties the last 2 days. Before that, we had 3 terrific days, so that was pretty good. Let's have a look at the growth numbers. Hex is continuing to grow. 2 days ago, yesterday we had 257 increase in wallet holders, and then we got 107 today. We had 66 stakers increase yesterday, 49 today, so we're up to 111,042 stakers. This is kind of my headline number, and of course, Richard always says get out there and do direct promotions. Might be, doing pamphlets around your local block on a regular basis, or it might be doing something online, whatever you think is comfortable for you. And of course, spread the word. Everyone's going to you're getting a pretty good pullback on the Hex price at the moment, and of course, you're going to be getting a copy on the Pulse chain. So it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting there. Total change in holders up 310 yesterday, 238 today. We're at 504,149. Very nice, as we say. Now we're heading up towards the Hex's third birthday. We're on day 1059 now, and we're heading up towards day 1095. Hex's third year birthday. Pretty exciting. And of course, we can see that is on the chart here on the Hex chart. Hex third birthday coming up there. So tick tock. It's taken time is ticking away there. Not too far away at all. 36 days or so. Very exciting. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, so cool. Looking forward to that. Now we're playing probability on this channel, of course, with the information at hand. So we'll be seeing how this goes, and it's going to be fun to play out. I'm excited about the Hex HSI auctions. I am cautious about the market pullback in November, so just take that into account. Other than that, maybe, and if we get a V3, Pulsechain V3, that just is another very bullish sign for me. If we do get that earlier than later, that would be very nice. Now maybe Pulsechain version 3 maybe doesn't come out till December or something like that. We'll see. I'm speculating here just on the Pulsechain time frame, so just remember that. So cool. What else there? That is pretty much it for the Hex daily stats. So we're going to jump out there. And of course, we're watching the Hadron and Hex chart very closely. Now, I'm not sure what else was I going to talk about here. I think that's it on there. I think I've covered all the charts. Like I say, get into our Discord if you're not in our Discord. Link is in the video description. And of course, we're heading up towards 950 members. And, it's a great community. Lots of people helping each other in there. Some people know stuff about some stuff and help other people. It really is cool. We've got awesome moderators, KD, Sandy Beach, Wookie, many others. There's 10 moderators in there. We've got 2 community leaders, Brian and Fat Sammy. We've got 5 syndicated YouTubers in here now. Isn't that awesome? Representing Hex, Pulsechain, and PulseX on the Discord. And, of course, we've got Craig Wadding from Gen Hex, Hein Crypto. We've got Rags to Riches, and we've got Crypto Heartbeat, and, of course, yours truly, Superman, Hex Token. And, we're spreading the word. We've got lots of cool things, increasing the amount of people, introducing and welcoming as many people to Pulsechain as possible across a lot of different projects, right? So it's exciting to be there. Also introducing them to Hex, of course, what we consider the best savings product out there. And, of course, Pulsechain is going to be absolutely lit, as PulseX will be too. So very excited about the future. Now, we're talking about, typically on this channel, I'll talk about the projects I think that are going to do particularly well. Maybe we've got 130, 140 projects coming to Pulsechain at the moment that are native to Pulsechain. And I think, I like about 10 of them. So I talk about those ones, and I don't talk about so many of the others. Now, some of the others might do well, but that's just kind of where I feel at the moment. We've also obviously got the Richard Hart General Chat in Discord, so you can definitely talk about that, price chat, everything. We've got the Pulsechain Project Chat, including the airdrop free claims at the moment, which is pretty popular. A lot of people like this. We've got the weight free claim is on at the moment. We've got the Poor Pleb coming up. We've got the Kira airdrop and the Texan token, which is actually running out of time soon. So I'm not exactly sure the final date of that, but maybe KD, if you're in the chat there, you could let us know. I think it's coming up in November sometime, maybe the 11th or something like that. Texan tokens in there as well. Now, Texan tokens they finished their sacrifice. They're doing this airdrop for PLSX, PLS, and of course, Hex stakes. If you've got Hex stakes at the 4th of July, you qualify. But they're also targeting mass onboarding for Pulsechain. More than any other project out there. And they're also doing educational and onboarding tools. So that's what they're going to be ramping up there, targeting no-coiners. I think that's fantastic. It's one thing spreading the word about stuff, but when you're actually going to get no-coiners on there, you actually have to do a lot of help. You have to do a lot of one-on-one. You have to have a lot of educational tools that help people understand how crypto works, how Pulsechain works, and so forth. So it's very exciting, and we're happy to support anything that expands the Pulsechain. When Pulsechain launches, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Remember, it's a whole ecosystem. It's not just the blockchain itself. The whole ecosystem is going to pretty much launch, and I think that given the time when Pulsechain has launched, it's allowed our top AAA projects to finish their products and have them all launch pretty similar time. So this is actually playing out very well for us, I think, generally. So especially if we get a Fed pivot in the market, that's going to bode well for asset prices as well. So we were looking for everything could just line up. The stars could just align just perfectly for us. And when we do launch and offset the delay in time that most people have been experiencing with the Pulsechain launch, but it's coming, and I think it's going to be better than ever with the proof of stake system. So it's going to be fun. All right, cool. Hex at the moment is at 4.175 cents. We've got Hadron there at 4,010, 4,100. Sorry, so that's pretty good there. Let's leave it on the Hex chart. We've got a couple more comments to make, so we'll get into that. Wookie is in the house there. Woo! Hex go up. Yeah, definitely Hex go up there. Good work, says Property View. I appreciate that. Yes, great work, says PLSD Thailand. I appreciate that too. Dan Dog Crypto says, do your own homework. Look into PZN, cooperative ownership of PZN Distribution Wealth Network, all working together, compounding. Yes, is Dan Dog. Yep, that's cool. Island Life in the house there. I've got to bail. Catch you all on Discord. Thanks, Superman, for another amazing stream. Like and share, people. I appreciate that, Island Life, and all the best to you. PSI says the temptation to sell some Hex into the strength is, in case of a pullback, is just too risky if there's a Pulsechain announcement or surprise fork. In my opinion, that's true. Aquaman KMX in the house there. Texas Token rocks. Free airdrop now. Nice one. I appreciate that. And of course, I don't know what your project is, but we get a lot of people drop in like that. Texan Token in the house there. Free claim is over on November the 19th. Okay. So Texan Token free claim for PulseX or PulseX sacrifices or Hex stakers at the 4th of July is November the 19th. So thanks, KD. If you want to ask any more questions about that airdrop, we've got the details there. And of course, you can jump into the Texan Token chat there over here. You'll be able to get in here and have a chat about that. All right, cool. Let us jump back to the Hex price there. Happy DC is always on point with your analysis, Superman. Thank you, Happy G. Yeah, I try to be as close, as accurate as possible. I think I've been doing a pretty good job. But once again, you must always do your own investment due diligence. So just remember that as well. So woohoo! All right, rock on, as we say. We're up to an hour and 28 minutes. I think it's probably a good time to finish an hour and a half live stream. How about that? Booyah! Yeah, boy. I got to get outside and do some training. I think that's probably my priority at the moment. So I'll get onto that. Like a boss, yes, Brian, like a boss. Hey, congratulations, everybody. 900 members in our Discord. Awesome. Heading up to 950 is our next target. Awesome stuff. Now, we just hit 2,000 members on Twitter as well, Hex Token. So I obviously didn't get on there early during the big PulseX sacrifice craze and the Pulsechain craze, but we're on there now, and we just hit 2,000, which is not too bad. So we're doing all right there. Doing okay. All right, so cool. Thank you for the awesome streams here, Sandy Beach. Hey, you're welcome. We're going to wrap up now. Take care, everybody. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell if you want to join this channel as a supporter. Hit the join button. We've got Pulsachins, Hexkins, Richard Heart Club. Really do appreciate support. I've also got some links in the video description if you want to send some crypto to those to help support this channel as we promote Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex every single day, plus a few other cool projects that we like to talk about. And why not? We're on YouTube after all, and we're in crypto, so it's a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Get into our Discord. See you there. And take care, everybody. Bye for now. Peace out. Yeah, boy.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed, wearing a Rolex. There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. Might as well start with 5, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your Hex.